Hello and welcome to Sacred Wellness. I am your host, Terry Ann Russell. On this podcast, we honor the power of healing and awakening while diving deep into what it means to rise from the deepest challenges and reclaim our wholeness, mind, body, soul, and purpose. I want to give a shout out to my listeners in Dallas, Texas, and Singapore today. Thank you for listening. It means so much for me, to me, that you're tuning in. Today, I'm excited to welcome Rhonda. Rhonda is a doctor of metaphysics. She's certified in healing methods that include sound healing, Reiki, chakra, and she's an ordained minister. Me too. She's been mostly blind since birth, and she sees what others do not see. She's known as a blind seer. She sees with her heart. I love that so much. Rhonda, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you. And Twitch Tail here is Zoom bombing us with her cute little tail. And she is my
Um,
familiar and co-energy worker with me. So there's her tail.
I
Thank you
love
so much. I'm so
it.
happy to serve you and your listeners today and just bring some love and healing and light into the world.
Me too, me too. Your story is so powerful, and you see what many overlook, right? I want to talk a little bit about like when you were a child, what it was like for you, because for me as a child, I would feel spirit, see spirit, but it scared me so much. I grew up very Catholic, so we had a lot of fear and doubt around those things when I was growing up. Can you talk about how that affected you as a child, and when did you see, that this was a gift?
Well, early on, I would see spirits, some very nice, angels and helpers and good ones, and then some not so nice and helpful. And I would see things that happened in different places, or if someone died there and their spirit was still there, I would see the dead people and that hadn't moved on and all that. So, and what I learned was if I said to somebody, "Oh, here I'm seeing whatever I'm seeing," and that would scare other people more so than it scared me personally. Yeah, I did grow up with, kind of loosely Christian on one side and Catholic on my dad's side. So there was some of that. But yeah, it was just a lot more about people in my family. Like, we don't talk about that. So a lot of times I just learned to keep what I saw to myself.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. When did you start to see this as a gift?
Um,
Was it
some,
early on?
yeah, I mean, somewhere in my childhood, I can't say that there was like one ha moment that just opened up and showed me that. But what I found is, just times I could help somebody. My one friend said she had really bad nightmares all the time, and that there was something in her closet, and her mom said, "Oh, poo, 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 nothing." And so, well, next time I come over, let's just see what happens. And there, she did have
Mhm.
something that was, one of those shadow people in her closet, and I was actually able to get rid of it for her, and then she didn't have nightmares.
Wow.
And I was, geez, maybe 8 or 9. I mean, I was pretty young. I don't know exactly what age, but 8 or 9-ish, I'd say. And I just went, and I'm glad I was able to help her. And it kind of freaked her out a little bit. But on the other hand, no more bad spirits. So, and she couldn't exactly see it, but for her, it was the feeling of there's
Yeah,
something bad that's like stalking right by my bed and trying to pull my, pawing at my face and my covers. And she could feel it. I could see it.
right.
So yeah, it was just like that. And then there were times I helped somebody with deal with the loss of a loved one who had passed and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's just there are moments where it feels like a gift, and there were moments where it felt like a burden because I also didn't have, probably like you and many people, I had no one to talk about.
Yes.
Right. No one in your family was powered, or whatever words you want to say. And then, so for me, it was like I had really nobody that I could truly talk about who it had any idea.
Mm.
And so that was the thing.
Yeah, often I felt like I was dropped off into this family that was nothing like me.
Exactly. Same. Yes, me too. Absolutely. I'm like, how am I with these people? It's not that they're bad people, they don't
No.
get me.
They don't get you, and often you don't understand it either, because like you, I didn't have anybody to talk to. I remember being a teenager and I would have premonitions. And so
Oh,
I saw
that's
that
the
we were going to
hardest.
get into a car accident on the way to a football game one year. But, I was scared to tell anybody. But then it happened, and I was like, well, am I making these things actually happen? Like, I didn't have the wherewithal around me or any knowledge or people to help me. I probably could have
Hmm.
went to the library back then and found something, but it didn't just even register, you know. Um, for you, being so young, 8 or 9, and being able to, take
Hmm.
care of that for your friend is so beautiful. That's a beautiful story you shared. I think as a healer, often I feel a lot. So part of
Yep.
my
Same.
gift is the clairsentience. Um,
Yes.
for you, you actually see, is it like visions, like a movie almost, or is it
It depends. It's kind of for me, I don't know, I kind of have a lot of the clairs. For me, it's kind of seeing, knowing. So it's
Mhm.
that, I do also hear, I will talk to them, I'll hear spirits or whatever's, angels and so forth.
Right.
And so it's kind of a combination for me,
When
and
did
we
you
all
learn to
have different.
trust that?
Hmm. How to trust it? It just I for me, what I always tell people is we are given this to serve people, to be helpful.
Hmm.
And for each one of us, our clairs, clairvoyance, clair, whatever, we have sentience, audience, etc., will show up in different ways. And our task is to go, okay, so I have my whatever ability I have. I'm meant to help people. It doesn't mean you have to give everything away and, whatever. I mean, you can still make it healing practice or whatever, but the point is finding a way to be helpful. And for a lot of us, it's learning to trust ourselves, especially when other people are going, don't talk about that. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's freaky. Oh, that scares me. And I remember like as an adult, a few years back, my dad came to visit and we
Hmm.
were watching one of the shows about a psychic. And she was it's called The Dead Files. And she's all these spirits she can see. And I'm also kind of sitting there going, oh, there's a blah, blah, blah. And it looks like this and it does that. And my dad was sitting next to me and he goes, that's really scary. And I went, yeah, but it's my reality. It's not scary to me. It's just my reality.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry it scares you. But that was like, I'm going, yeah, even now. And I love my dad. He is an awesome person. So I have nothing bad to say about him at all. That's not a diss or a shadowing him. It's just that it's just so different when they don't see it at all. It's like what's unknown freaks people out a lot of times. And it's
Yeah, and
not
then a
that,
lot, I think, movies and stuff like that, they portray it to be all evil. And,
yeah.
you grow up or your dad, thinking that it's all bad stuff when it is beautiful stuff. I mean, my mom asked me that. My son passed about 6 years ago. He was 27. And my mom says, well, how do you know it's, Anthony? And I was like, I can feel the difference between my child and, a lower vibrating spirit. I know the
Or
difference.
or some other spirit that's not your child, somebody else's
Right.
child. You would know,
Hmm.
you feel the difference, you know.
Yeah, and so she had a lot of fear too, like your dad,
Hmm.
questioning, how do you know? How do you know? And I was like, I know that that's my son. There's no doubt in my mind. I did learn to trust a lot more after, he passed, obviously. He became one of my strongest guides. I've truly been
Hmm.
blessed with a relationship that's
Yeah.
different. I'm still adjusting to.
Yeah, he's there with you kind of laughing. So yeah.
Yeah, always.
He's like, yep, that's yeah.
Yeah, it's been a journey. He's watched me struggle. I went from the being on the brink of suicide when he first passed to,
Of course.
really enveloping and changing and nourishing, the relationship we have now. Although I still do miss him.
Of
I
course.
miss him dearly. But often what I talk about on this channel is a lot about balance, right? So
Hmm.
we're learning to bring into balance. I want to talk a little bit about frequency too because
Hmm.
I don't think this is talked about enough in our field.
Agree.
What are some things we can do to tune into our own frequency and then help raise our frequency if it's like lower, like through grief or loss?
Well, okay, so everything vibrates. That is a, scientifically proven that the fact that it's like even in various scriptures, cosmogonic myths, origin myths, they'll say in the beginning was the word. In other words, something vibrated and the universe came into being. That's vibration. So everything is vibration, and science has shown that. Now, that said, just like everything else, Like you can go get a good coffee or a not so good coffee or the really low quality that shouldn't have even been sold coffee and whatever. It's the same kind of way with our energy. I just like to use really easy, simple to understand, ways to express it.
Mhm.
And so it's like that with us. Now being in grief, this is not, see, here's a thing that happens a lot too, is spiritual bypassing. Like, oh,
Mhm.
grief is a low vibration or whatever is a low vibration. I don't want to be there. So I'll just go, I'm pretending I'm all happy and I'm just ignoring the
Yes.
grief. I'm ignoring the anger. I'm ignoring the whatever I'm feeling that's icky, that I don't
Mhm.
like. I'm going stuff it down. Well, then you're creating your own personal volcano, and at some point it's going to erupt in the way of probably illness. I mean, possibly, anger exploding at your loved one, but it could also be in the form of cancers or illness. And it's not a punishment. It's just that your body is holding on to it. Your spirit is still holding it if you
Mhm.
don't work through it. So it's okay to be in grief. It's okay to be aggravated with somebody. It's okay to notice something in the world that's not great and notice that and go, yeah, this is something that I don't care for. And then decide, do I just breathe through it, which is with grief, you just breathe through it and work through it. And,
Mhm.
if you pray or if you do, whatever your particular methods are, your listeners do that through it, and that can help you. And you can still process it. So, whatever it is you're feeling, to process it is a high vibration function because you're like, yeah, I'm feeling really grief stricken. I'm depressed. I'm whatever I am, sad. I'm upset. And I will sit with that and go, well, where is this coming from? What is this about? What can I do? What do I need to shift inside of me? And like especially with things like grief, you just have to allow it to live and breathe in its own way, in its own time, and things will come up and one little thing will happen and it'll spark a memory and maybe you'll cry for a minute and you'll breathe
Yeah.
through it and process through it and it'll pass.
Yeah, that's a
And so,
beautiful explanation. Thank you.
yeah, sure.
Um, yeah, it's interesting because frequency, often is misconstrued. And I think a lot of people are just confused about, I think it's when you
Mhm.
stay in that space, right? We were taught, especially, I grew up in the 70s, you shut everything down. You don't want to feel nothing,
Right. Yeah, same. Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
you get to this point where you're having this spiritual awakening and you're learning how to feel all over again. It's a process I explain to my clients that
Yeah.
inevitably you have to go through.
You feel the feels. You allow the emotions to
Yes.
be there, but you process them. You dance with them. I always like to say, I hate to say like work with it and do your shadow work. It just sounds like, oh gosh, no, and something to do. Like I need a to-do list, like a hole in the head.
Right.
But dance with the resistance, play with it. You have something, I'm getting ready for this big summit and I'm getting ready and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I don't know about this page. And I'm like, okay, now just a minute. I know how to deal with this. This is just some stinking thinking that's coming up and the poop squad is trying to visit. And so I'll breathe and process and ask what it's about and where it's coming from and be able to breathe and release it and move on. And it's the thing with energy, with our frequency. Being high vibration is not about, I'm just going to say a positive affirmation and it'll all be okay. I'm going to be, think great and whatever. And it's not just that. Being the high vibration,
Right.
it's working through it, living through it, playing through it, dancing with it, just letting that move. If once the energy moves, things will really help. And so, because I mean, if people are just talking about wanting to be high vibration, and it's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean spiritual bypassing. It doesn't mean
Right.
living at 800 frequency all the time, every single minute. Because if you do, you're not serving yourself or anyone else.
Yeah, and that's why I share a lot about that on this channel because it is about mind, body, spirit, right? It's about coming into balance in all areas. I believe that this journey we're on as a human is a learning growth journey.
Mhm.
It's not easy for a lot of us. Can you share some of, I know you shared the story about when you were young, but you've done a lot of stuff. You've been on shows, you've
Mhm.
written books. Can you share a little bit about one of the most interesting experiences that you had? One of the
Mm.
most memorable.
Well, one of the most memorable. I mean, there were just a lot of things. Here's something that's really memorable. So because um in one of my angels said I should call myself the Blind Seer, and but let me tell you, we had a few conversations about I'm not sure I want to do that and step into that. It's not that it isn't true or anything. It's just that yeah, but I don't know. So me and Sandalphon had some conversations. But anyhow, one of the things I decided to do is I do offer consultations. I just call it an intuitive consultation because sometimes I might use cards, I might use a pendulum, I might use just whatever I'm picking up from your guides, my guides, the angels, and whatever.
Hmm.
And it's different tools. So I don't want to say I'm just a card reader, I'm just a this or that, because I'm not just anything. I'm a this, beautiful mess of all kinds of things. So in doing that, one of the things I offer is because I found that people do not see their spirit guides a lot of times. Like they may know they have them, they
Hmm.
may even know their name, maybe they can hear something, but there's just something about also having that picture. And so one of my guides said, "You do art, you should do art that shows people their guides." And I went, "Oh, that's a brilliant idea." So I do that. And so a couple weeks ago, I had um, somebody come to me for their consultation. And one of the guides that we were working with the most was this particular person. And I said, "Oh, she's just so funny because she's like so playful and like she's like sneaking around with stuff in her pockets because she's going to do this really fun ritual and make this cool magic happen. But like the superior types wouldn't want her to be doing this, whatever."
Right.
She's like, you know, and I created art for that person. And I said, "Are you ready to meet her?" And she was like, "Oh yes, I'm so excited," because she like knew she had a guide. She had the
Hmm.
sense of presence, but didn't hear, didn't see, didn't anything else
Oh,
really. And I showed her that person. I mean, when I sent it, I was like, "Okay, I'm hitting send right now. I'm sending you this." And I'm just crying with tears of happiness that I could show her this and just knowing. Well, she sent me a picture of it. She says, "I'm going to make this into a poster." I says, "Well, hang on. I have to give you a different file size for that. Just a minute. I don't want it to look bad, So I upscaled it for her and I said, "Here, this is the one you can make the poster. And if that's not big enough, you tell me and we'll work it out and whatever." I want it to be perfect. So she puts it on her wall, this big 18 by 24 in a
oh
frame
my
on her wall
gosh.
and sends it to me. I'm like, waterworks. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, my art on people's walls." That's part of my vision board is that people not, will have, it's not about a gallery, it's not about notoriety, it's about making something come alive for you in a way that you can't perceive on your own. And so that was just, I have tears in my eyes now just thinking about it. So that's one of my most memorable times of showing someone their guide and really opening up. Now you have like a face and to put with this. And I've usually said their name if they've told me, if the spirit
Hmm.
has told me what
Hmm.
the name is that they want to go by. And so they've had that. Well, I know the name is blah, blah, blah. Well, now I have this visage I can look at and really see them. And so that was a beautiful memory for me.
Oh, I love that. That's a beautiful story. How amazing that you can put that into art and someone can
Yeah.
be able to see that for themselves. Because it's one thing to tell somebody, hey, she's got curly hair, this is what she looks like.
Yeah.
But to
Right.
actually put it in front of them so that they can see it, that's so beautiful. I love that you
Mhm.
do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Can you share with my listeners where they can get in touch with you?
Oh, yes, I'm pretty much everywhere. I do have a gift. Is it all right for me to offer you
Yes,
a gift? Okay.
absolutely.
Well, so I have a gift. So a lot of things, whenever you're dealing with your own personal gifts, whatever they may be, part of it starts with really being able to center within yourself because sometimes things will frighten or unnerve you, or you just maybe you've been told, "No, I shouldn't see that," or "I shouldn't have that. That's an evil thing," or whatever. It starts with being able to be calm within yourself. So my gift to you is I named it the Rapid Reset Rescue Bundle, but it helps you have 3 different ways to center within yourself within just a few heartbeats. So it's really quick.
Hmm.
And it's sort of that science meets soul. Yes, it's backed by science, but it's a soulful practice. It won't violate anybody's religion because we're not praying to anything or whatever. We're going within our own energy.
Okay.
And that will be the link. I know that will be in the show notes, but it's revronda.com/center. And my name is Rev, Ronda with no H. So that's a gift for you. You can find me on the website, but I'm on YouTube. My channel is called Energy Glow Up. with Rev Rhonda. So if you put Energy Glow up and even just Rhonda, you'll find me because my last name is just too long and they can't even spell my first name right most of the time. So we're not even doing the last name, but it's on my YouTube and that's where I'm putting most of my energy. I do a crystal of the week. I do teachings. I answer questions. So I'd love to connect with you and past that, I know all of the other links will be in the show notes for you. Also, I'll mention
Absolutely.
I do have a digital card deck which has 91 different affirmations to help you trust your intuition. And it's called Embracing Intuition Affirmation Cards. And that link will be in with your goodies as well. And I
Okay.
just recommend that if you want to learn how do I trust myself? How do I tune in? Well, these are just affirmations, but by affirming these things and seeing the art that I created to go with it and the symbology behind it that helps you activate within yourself your inner trust.
I love that. So I will, yeah, definitely, yes, share all the links in the notes. It'll be on YouTube and Spotify. That's where I focus most of my energy. But Rhonda, thank you so much for coming on today and
Thank
sharing
you.
with us your gifts and your stories. It's been wonderful to meet you, and I will see you all next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste, loves.